The inquest into Melissa Caddick's disappearance and suspected death is now in its 12th day, and it's likely to be the final day of evidence which will wrap up this inquest. These latter days have been examining New South Wales police and their response to Melissa Caddick's disappearance. Now, she was reported missing by her husband Anthony Coletti 30 hours after he says that she was last seen, and that was the day after an ASIC raid of her home in Sydney's eastern suburbs. She was being investigated for running an alleged Ponzi scheme that defrauded investors to the tune of tens of millions of dollars. Now, New South Wales police have been looked at quite closely, of course, in this inquest and their response to her disappearance. Now, today at the inquest, much has been made of the CCTV that was collected in the aftermath of her disappearance being reported. And we've heard from the Area Command Manager of Eastern Suburbs, that's Detective Inspector Gretchen Atkins, about the review process of that CCTV. She's described it as time-consuming and painstaking. There was a 3-month review in February 2021 of the police investigation, and that was something that was done actually just about a week before Melissa Caddick's decomposed foot was found washed up on a southern New South Wales beach. At that 3-month point mark, there was a file note of that meeting which suggested that the officer in charge of the investigation, Detective Sergeant Michael Fuscolo, said that only about 20% of the available CCTV had been reviewed, and that he also was seeking perhaps further resourcing to complete that task. Now, Detective Inspector Gretchen Atkins has said that they were quite short-staffed at that point in time, and Mr Fuscolo had been asking for resources, but that she gave him what she could at that time. Detective Sergeant Michael Fuscolo is currently giving evidence now, and he has said that extra resources would have been more helpful with the investigation. Now, if the evidence wraps up this afternoon, then we're likely to get closing submissions, perhaps even in writing, sometime, of course, in the future. And that'll be before the coroner gives their findings, which could very well be quite open findings with respect to the manner, time, date and place of death for Melissa Caddick.